Welcome to the Pressure to Passion podcast, redefining your life after trauma. I am your host, Ms. D. May, and we are about to get into it. And today's episode is entitled The Intersection Between Passion and Purpose. And we will be discussing whether discovering one's passion can lead to one's purpose. And I'm excited because I have an incredible guest with me today. He is not only my friend, he's an amazing entrepreneur, an all-round amazing person, and probably one of the only men I'm going to interview on my podcast. So, ladies, he is taken, so let's not go there. Welcome, everyone, Mr. David Dacosta, a.k.a. Mr. Go Travel.
Thank you. I'm the only guy. That's no pressure.
I think you're going to be the only guy that I'm going to...
Fellas, I got to represent.
It's special.
I appreciate that. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, you're welcome, and thank you for coming. Thank you for coming and supporting me. David supports me with everything that I have ever done.
Nearly
so,
everything.
Nearly.
You've had some crazy ideas.
Yeah. So before we get started, David, I got some quick fire questions for you. Okay.
Okay.
All right, David. First celebrity crush.
Probably Christina Milian.
Christina Milian.
Yeah.
Dip it low.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me not sing.
put the music over this.
Christina Milian.
Yeah, probably.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you consider your driving skills? Bearing in mind, for today's episode, you were an hour late, right? What would you consider your driving skills to be like?
9.
Lies.
I've never had any crash. I've been driving in London for nearly 20 years, so...
Lies.
15 years.
Alright, okay. 9, you know.
I'm sticking with my 9.
So that means
I do stunt driving in my movies,
true.
I'm driving a car while controlling a drone, filming myself, keeping it in focus.
Alright, I give you that one. Okay, I give you that
strong
one.
Man.
Right, okay. So if you had to have a superpower, invisibility or super strength?
Super strength.
Like the Hulk super strength. I'm not really into the Marvel film. I don't know who's the strongest, but invisibility or super strength?
Yeah, I'll take super strength.
Why?
I can punch people up.
Listen, we don't condone violence, people. We don't condone violence. No.
Yeah.
Alright, okay. Alright. Right, so David, like I said, you're probably going to be one of the only guys that I have on this podcast. Yeah. So I really want to get into speaking about some things that are really, targeted at men, that type of thing. But before we get into that, can you talk to me about some challenges that you've had in your life and some things that you've had to get through and how you face those challenging times throughout your life?
I would always say I'm very fortunate and thank God I haven't gone through some crazy life experience traumas that some people have gone through. I've had a few bereavements here and there, but nothing like that I can say standouts, that thing that almost defines the trauma, the dark times of my life. I've had ups and downs, but nothing that really stands out as really detrimental to my development, to my happiness. But I come from very, very humble beginnings. When you heard me speak on stage, to people around the world, I tell my story. I think poverty, struggling financially, living in London, wanting to keep up with the Joneses and for me, I was never a materialistic person and still am not. Don't care so much about the glitz and the glam, but I remember one time, my first graduate job, after graduate, well not my first, but one of my graduate jobs, after not being able to secure a decent job in London, I had to move out to Newark Northgate. And I'm living out there, and I'm super broke, the company's paying me pennies, and I'm far away. I'm like the only black guy in the village. I had no friends there, working for a bunch of strangers. Yeah. And it was really, really, truly lonely, a very lonely, unpleasant part of my life. And at the beginning, I was excited. I had my own property. Yeah, well, not property, but a room. I was renting student accommodation. So I was like, oh wow, new city, I'm going to make new friends. And then I was like, oh, I'm not going to make friends. It's quite lonely out here. And then working there for about up to a year. So I would want to go back on the weekends to see my family. So from Newark Northgate to King's Cross, whatever the cost of the train ticket was this is whatever 12 years ago, I just couldn't afford it. So after my salary and paying my bills, paying for the property, I had no money on Friday to go back down to London, to go and see my loved ones. I wanted to go and see my mum, get good home cooked food, play football, see my brothers. So I would find myself having to, because I just couldn't take it no more. It's been lonely on the weekend, just sitting there doing nothing. I would hide in the train toilets in order to get back down to London. The only thing I knew, I'm from Catford, so we grew up a bit rough, innit, so you do what you need to do. Now, this is rush hour. So Newark Northgate, there's a bunch of people coming back down to London. So the train is packed, like packed. And, when you get onto the train during rush hour, the toilets don't smell great because it's rush hour. I'm hiding in there, people banging on the doors, because they want to use the toilet. It's rush hour. Everyone, the train conductors. So for me, it was not a very nice period of my life. Every weekend having to go through that, getting into King's Cross, not knowing if the police waiting outside were waiting for me. I was just so poor and I was so lonely and missed my family, missed my loved ones. Just needed to be away from some strange, weird village where, it was just almost depressing, And again, I slept in my car at university, again, just financially being in places where I remember distinctively spending about £10 Monday to Friday on food. So Monday, chicken and chips. And if I go to Oxford now, because I studied at Oxford Brooks, and Oxford is one of the most expensive cities out there, I know the chicken and chip shop where I would spend roughly £1 on, £1 something on chicken, one piece of chicken, chips, burger sauce, and one bottle of water. That was my daily food. So those are some of the experiences that really were tough.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm really interested. Did you ever tell anyone? Did your friends know, how much you were struggling?
No.
Why did you choose not to tell or share it with people? Was it embarrassment, or did you think people would judge you?
It's very interesting. I would say, as men, you're taught to be tough, and to share something like that, that's quite an intimate. To be fair, I was younger than my boys, my people around me. So, hey man, I need to tell you something. I've been really struggling financially.
It's not the same thing to do, is it?
Yeah, hiding in train toilets, or sleeping in my car. It'll probably be ha ha. Literally, they'll probably just give me the laugh. We weren't taught how to be sensitive and emotional as men, how to take someone's pain and to comfort them. So I wouldn't have told because I wouldn't expect a good response anyway. I didn't think I would have got a good response from my peers, even family, mum, yes, of course, my brothers were like, man up in it, So it's the embarrassment, it's the insecurity, it's the belief that you're not going to get what you need anyway, which is a shoulder to cry on. So
that's really leads nicely into what I really want to speak to you about men's health, men's mental health, and the stigmas and taboos attached to men, especially black men, talking about their issues and problems. Talk to me a little bit about how you feel about that, and how do you think men should be talking more? What is it like? Because you're a black man. Do you?
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Honestly, you're a black man. So, do you speak amongst your peers? Is it different now? Now that you're older, talk to me about it. Because I don't have that experience.
Definitely different now that you're older. Nowadays, people. And then you got immature people who are our age, 30, 40 years old. You got immature people that it doesn't matter where they are in life. You don't want to get their opinion. You don't want to speak to people like that. They're just not all there. But back in the days, I would expect to be laughed at. I would expect people to not listen or respect or hear anything when you're talking about your life, your experiences, mental health, how you're feeling. It's like, what are we talking like this for? We're men. We're not supposed to talk about how you feel. We're supposed to talk about football. We're supposed to talk about sports. So as you become older, you lose people to depression. You lose people to suicide. You lose people to these things. You realize now, oh, this is a very serious thing. It can take away my best friend. It can take away my family member. Yes, we're strong black men, but we also have weaknesses. We also have insecurities, and we need to speak because it's some of us are going through. There's so many things. Just the suit that we wear, the skin color, can be so much more of a burden on top of the other thing. That's a man. Financial. Most men who don't have good money struggle in relationships. One of the number one causes of divorce and relationship's not working out is financial. So as men, okay, we're supposed to be the providers, you know, but also I've got this black skin, which means the work I'm doing, the people I'm working with, the negativity I'm getting outside, the arrows that are coming for me is not just I'm struggling living in London financially, but also I'm struggling and I'm a black man, you know, so it can be more. And I'm not just talking racism, there's so many other things.
Yeah, of course.
You know, so I think all men need to be talking. Black men definitely need to be talking.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't always need to be that you're going through bad stuff. I'll be very transparent. I've never had any real form of depression or mental health, and I thank God for that. But and I may have been times in my life where I was close, or I could potentially have been on the edge. I didn't know it, but luckily maybe someone pulled me back or something pulled me back before I got too close. And who knows? No one plans to say, oh, I'm going to have mental health. You know, it just happens, and sometimes it's too fast. You can't stop it. But I've always had good, strong black male models around me. We just talked about Boys Brigade. I didn't know that you knew what Boys Brigade was, but in my church we had Boys Brigade. So when I was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, growing up to my teens, I was going to Boys Brigade. I think it was every Thursday we'd go to church, big hall, we would learn sports, we'd learn how to be strong, learn how to be tough, learn the football skills, learn how to fight, you know, not like, you know, just being tough, you know, play fighting, and growing up with men who are investing their time and money. And now I see them at weddings, these men, you know, in their 60s and 70s, it's like, thank you. You know, I didn't say thank you back then when I was 12, because it was us versus them. We called them the officers, you know, so we'd always be trying to get away with doing naughty things and fighting them and cussing them out. But only now, like, you know, many of my peers are not in prison, are not going through these things, because we had good black male role models guiding us in the church, men of God, who helped us to grow as men and to grow in our mindset and to grow physically in sports. And I really believe a lot of us would have ended up in prison and different places if not for those male role models. Because we all grew up in the hood, you know, but a lot of us went to, you know, better paths.
How important? Well, I feel like you already touched on it, but how important do you think it is to have such good role models in a boy's life? It's
key. It's really key, because, and especially if you grew up in rough areas. If you grew up in, you know, in the hood, it's so easy to go down the wrong path, because. And again, there's a lot of families where there's no dad at the home, and the mum might say, okay, well, I can raise a son. And yes, of course you can raise a son, but there's things missing. You can't deny that there's going to be things missing that only a man can feel. And it's the people that say, oh, no, I can do it. They're delusional. You know, it's harsh, but it doesn't mean you're going to be a failure as a parent. It just means ideally the ideal situation is a man and a woman. The woman has her roles, has her sets of skills that the man can't do, and vice versa. So for me, whenever you're in that situation where there is no male role model in the house, such as a dad, father, husband, it's not the be all and end all, because the male role model doesn't have to necessarily
come from the home. It doesn't have to come from the home. It can be,
you know,
a teacher, a friend, a church pastor, anyone. It can be.
And I had an idea actually of making a, because I'm a film director, cameraman, so to make some form of Top Boy series where about, you know, gang, crime, drugs, and at the end of it have a positive message where if you live in North London, South London, West London, East London, here's a list of youth centres and male role models, because there's some male, strong, amazing role models out there who are desperately looking for the young boys to be able to mentor and to help. But to connect that single mum who's got 2 boys with that male role model, I wanted to make a Top Boy series which was really attractive. I shouldn't even be saying this because it's probably someone going to steal my idea.
Don't steal your pitch.
But if someone did, I'll be happy for it, because if they're going to connect be out there. Something that's going to attract the youth, something like Top Boy, which gets everyone's attention. But imagine at the end of Top Boy, because the whole concept of Top Boy is mostly young men who don't have direction, where people can come in and direct them into the wrong path. And it's normally, if you don't have good direction from the household, the outside forces are going to direct you normally the wrong path. So at the end of an amazing, attractive, exciting series like Top Boy, imagine having a message saying, hey, if you're stay-at-home single mum, or you're a single mum, or you're from a broken home, here is a list of amazing youth centres and individuals who want to mentor your young black son in North London, South London, West London, East London. If that mother really cares, say, hey, I haven't got a husband, I haven't got a boyfriend, to help raise my son, but there's men out there that are desperately looking to help the next generation. Now you just connect the dots if you care enough.
I love that. Don't say no more. People might steal it.
I know. Well, I'm happy for good things to go out there, but don't steal my stuff, man.
So David, tell me, I've got like the burning question. This is what our podcast is all about. What would you consider your passions and your purpose to be in life?
My passions and my purpose.
And just bearing in mind, you don't actually have to know the answer.
Yeah.
You know?
We was talking about this slightly off camera, and how do you know what your purpose is? I mean, you mentioned obviously for this podcast when we first spoke, God told you.
Yeah.
And then some people say, "Oh, God told me to do this." Like, no,
I don't think
that. So
yeah,
it's a hard one. I mean, if God speaks to you very clearly, that's the best answer. But sometimes you might do something for 20 years and you might be the best in the world at it. Doesn't mean it's your purpose.
Absolutely not.
It might be, the next week you're doing something that you realise, oh wow, this is my purpose. So for me, thank God I've been very successful in my field in the travel business that we're both involved in. So because, I've impacted thousands of lives. We have an organisation of, as you know, 17,300 people who are making part-time income, weekly, monthly. Some people become millionaires through our business, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's your purpose. It doesn't necessarily mean it's your calling, but I thank God for the opportunity to impact lives. And I'll take it as my purpose. I'll definitely take it as my purpose because right now, because it's something good and positive. If I was just working at Boots and I've been there for 50 years and I'm great, I can do everything, because maybe I don't feel I'm impacting enough people, unless when people come in I'm so smiley and bubbly and I really raise their spirits, then maybe that could be a purpose because it's something really beneficial and positive. But what we do in business, I believe it's so beneficial to a lot of people. I'm definitely taking that as one of my main purposes, to inspire people through entrepreneurship, to show God's light through business. If I've got access to thousands of people as business partners, I can be a bad person, I can be a good person, I can show God's love through business interactions as mentoring, or I could not. So I'm taking that as one of my purposes, to inspire people through business in the travel space. My purpose is really, as a Christian, my overall purpose is to serve.
Yes,
and
absolutely. Which is what we're doing here, serving the people. To
serve and to be a light, that He's shining through me to other people's lives and passions. I've got quite a few passions. I know,
we're about to get into that.
Yeah.
We're about to get into that because obviously, David, I've known you a long time. Before you were this well put together man. And that's true.
The old days,
yeah, before you were so well put together. Yeah. So would you say that your passion your passions have evolved over the years, and have they changed?
Yeah, do you know what? One of my biggest passions, filmmaking, acting, directing, any form of that. I mean, there's movies out there, Godzilla, James Bond, John Wick, 24, Scandal now. I'm just getting to Scandal. Where
you're only just getting into Scandal?
Okay, I'm coming towards the end.
No way. Where have you been?
Do you know, I'm very slow, even as a filmmaker. I'm very slow. No. Game of Thrones, haven't done.
Okay, well, I haven't really done Game of Thrones. To be fair, sorry to go off script, but to be fair, my niece is so into Game of Thrones.
Really?
Auntie D watched Game of Thrones, and I tried so much.
You don't like that stuff, or maybe it's not your thing.
I just couldn't do it. I couldn't. I couldn't get into it. I'm also very mindful of what I take in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like
it's not for everybody.
It isn't for everyone. Yeah. So go on. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go on.
So my passions have definitely evolved as I've got older. But I believe in terms of the filmmaking, acting, directing, I've looked back at some of the VHS tapes that my brother brings over for Christmas. And I'm doing stop motion animation and fight scenes.
Wow.
And some of them look really impressive. And I'm like 10, 11, 12, 13 years old.
Wow.
So I was really good at that. And I had a passion for it when I was up to 15 years old. But now as an adult, now I can put funding behind it. Now I can put more time and effort behind it and take it to the next level. So TV, filmmaking, directing, acting, animation, stunts, action, all that type of stuff has definitely been a passion from my early teens. Travel blogging has become a bit of a passion in my later years, so that's evolved.
Yeah.
Whereas back in the days I'll just travel, and everyone takes pictures of these. So I always say technically everybody's a travel blogger, but doing it now to make money from it, people see me traveling to certain places. I give advice, inspiration, a call to action. Hey, come partner with me in my travel business. This is how I was able to do ABC. So my passions have been the same back in the days, because I actually also remember I did travel blog when I was like 18, 19. Me and my brother took a first trip to Spain. We were young in our teens, and we were filming everything, but it was just all jokes and funny stuff, fighting each other in the pool and just crazy stuff. But now my passions are the same, filming when I'm abroad, but now it's monetized. Now it's strategic. Now it's it's better.
Exactly. And I think definitely with, like we said, the business that we're in, it's a business that people want to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody wants to travel. Yeah. And I think you're lying if you say you don't.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, of course.
Usually there's a reason why you don't travel.
Time and money.
Money.
Yeah. It's not the mosquitoes, it's not the weather, people want to travel. Yeah.
Or maybe you might be frightened of flying. And that you can get over. Yeah.
Go to Southampton, take a cruise.
Exactly. So I think there's definitely a market for what you're doing, for what we're doing in terms of the travel business, and it's also honestly one of the reasons why I decided to get involved in the travel industry is because I believe that it's enriching to your life. To be able to experience different cultures, different food, different everything, and to understand that you're not the only person on the planet. We're not the only people on the planet. People live very different lives when you go to certain places of the world. And then it also kind of makes you either really grateful for what you have, or on the other hand,
it stretches you to what you could have.
Yeah,
when you go to Dubai, I saw a picture the other day, a house, a ghetto estate in the UK, like 200,000, and in Dubai, something that's beautiful, infinity pools everywhere, like
for the same money, for less
much
money.
less, So it can either stretch you, or it can say, I appreciate where I am because I just came back from South Africa and I saw the poverty, or I just came back from Portugal and I saw what's going on over there, and I'm appreciative of being here in the UK.
Being here, exactly. So, I mean, at the end, we'll probably leave a little link to how people can get in contact with you or contact with us, and how if they want to experience travel as a professional rather than just a consumer. We will do that. But I want to talk to you a bit more about your filmmaking.
Okay. Yeah.
You're currently making a film, is that right?
So right now I'm currently working on what I'd call a Black James Bond web series, and it came about.
I love it.
Because I think it's really weird. Like you talk about, your passions evolve as you mature. I mean, I've always liked James Bond. Always watched it with the brothers and the family. We're a James Bond family. We watch it. But in the last 4 years, I realised I think I'm the biggest James Bond fan in the world. All
right. Okay. Wait. You just made a really bold statement right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sticking to it.
Okay. Name me the first 3 James Bond actors.
Actors.
Yeah.
There you
go.
Okay. Well, I know you got Timothy Dalton, Roger Moore. I don't know in order. Timothy Dalton, Roger Moore. There's one I don't remember his name. There's an old school guy.
Sean Connery.
He wasn't one of the first.
No,
I know Sean Connery.
Okay.
But he's probably in the top 3. Timothy Dalton, Sean Connery, Roger Moore. Probably there's another guy, Lansbury. Some guy called something Lansbury.
Okay. Easier question then, because you just made a bold statement. I had to challenge them people. You see?
Okay, but I'm one of them people.
No, I get you.
I don't know the little.
Okay. So who's your favourite Bond?
Oh, good question. Okay, it has to be so not Pierce Brosnan. Pierce Brosnan is number 2.
Really?
Daniel Craig.
Okay. Yeah. I think I'd have to agree.
I mean, he just made the Bond series real.
Did.
He made it real, less cheesy. Because when I before I started making my project now, which is called Flatmates, and I'll explain a little bit about what it's about. But before I got into it, I went to go back and watch all Bonds, and I researched them, and I didn't realise how cheesy some of them were. Like,
the real old school ones.
The really old school one. I love it, and I get back in that time, those things, was possible to do, and people be entertained by it. But in today, because you're competing now with Mission Impossible, you're competing with Bourne Ultimatum, and if they're doing realistic stuff, real fights, not the quiet chop on the neck and someone just dies. That stuff used to irk me. It's like, no, if my mum hit me harder than that, and I didn't die. Like, you can't just be quiet chopping people on the neck and then there's people dying. So I really believe Daniel Craig brought Bond into the modern world. I just love the character. But yeah, Flatmates is basically about 2 MI5 agents. So again, MI5, MI6, kind of like a science fiction government branch of counter-terrorism operatives. And there's a guy, Tyson Banks, who is played by myself, and a lady, Rhea Francis, played by my co-star, shout out to Montana, one of the best actresses I've ever met. They're both MI5 agents working for a secret branch in MI5, and they've been put into a house together, and they've lied to each other to say, I say I'm a personal trainer, she says she's a teacher. So we think we're the normal civilians. And we're living in a house together, and MI5 have just seen, how we build an interaction, how we, do we fall for someone, because they know what our type is. So they've put us together in the house, can we hold our cover? And of course, the characters fall in love, and then gradually, the audience wonder if they're going to find out what the person's real profession is. So she's definitely not a teacher, and he's definitely not a personal trainer. They're both high-level government, spies, for MI5. So as their relationship grows, so that the severity and the danger of their missions grow, and it just gets very, very technical.
So what's the plan for Flatmates? Is it going to be a YouTube release, or are you thinking bigger than that?
It's it's been filming for 2 years now. Yesterday we filmed the final scene.
Wow! Well, congratulations.
Episodes of season 1 is 10 episodes. So thank you. Yeah, it's been amazing. It's one of the best projects of my life. Most of my money from the travel business has gone into funding this.
Well, that's it. When your passions can support your other passions, right?
Yeah, and that's you mentioned. Where's it going? Like, I haven't even been thinking so much about how to monetize this. Like, yes, I deserve to make some money from it. I've put so much blood, sweat and tears into it. Staying up till 5 a.m. was normal to me. Writing scripts and then getting blood all over myself, filming, falling downstairs, and paying other people. And one of the things I love is our travel business helped me to fund my passions, but helped me to inspire other people. A lot of people used to say, "Oh, we need a black James Bond. We need a black James Bond." Now I'm a real James Bond fan, so I disagree with that. Yes, I'm black as well, but if James Bond is a white character, leave it alone, because we wouldn't want a Chinese Bob Marley to be depicted in a film. So I said, well, let's not beg other people for stuff. Do it yourself. We're very creative. So I said, and again, I'm not trying to compete with James Bond. It's much lower budget, but something that I'm passionate about, something that I like, something that I think is realistic. And it's not a student film, but it's in the middle between student film and Hollywood. And I always say I'm more closer to Hollywood than student film, because I study cinema, I go to cinemas by myself, and I watch a $50 million budget, and I'm like, you could have given me 50 grand, I would have done something better. Just give me the right camera and the right crew, I would have do something better than that 50 million. So Flatmates is about opportunity to give in representation to black actors and actresses, who maybe are looking for that big role, not the typical role of gangster and hoe, but now we're talking about people who are lawyers, people who work high up in government, MI5, presidents, prime ministers,
That's why you've been watching Scandal.
Yeah, and I've been loving it.
Scandal's amazing. I love Scandal.
Great ideas. Yeah. So I'm really, really proud of Flatmates and what it's about. It will be released on YouTube, so it is going out for everybody to experience and to build up the following. Season 2, maybe looking at Amazon Prime, potentially even things like Netflix and stuff like that. But for now, I'm just happy to give it out for free to people to enjoy the content and to grow with the characters.
I love that. Yeah. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
I am. Like I said, I've seen you evolve over years, and you have grown into a phenomenal entrepreneur, friend, soon to be husband. You
have to say that the right way. Because you're going to be punched.
Oh, not to me. Right, I get that. Right, I get it. I was like, what are you saying? Is it a secret? Wait a minute. Yeah. No, you recently got engaged to your beautiful fiance, who's amazing. So, no, I'm super, super proud of you.
Thank you.
And I just want to say thank you for coming and being here today.
Yes.
And just supporting me in everything that I do.
Yeah, and I'm proud of you. This is like, wow. It's been a gradual process of just getting to purpose and passion. And I think we're really coming into our zone now, where we know what we want, who we are, and what we want to give out and bless people with. With our skill set that's God's blessed us with, we have to channel it into the right areas
avenues
for the maximum effect to the people that we care about in our circle.
Absolutely. So before we go, let's tell the people how they can connect with you. So where are you on socials? So
my main socials, I'll say Instagram. So at Mr. MRGO Go Travels. At Mr. Go Travel. That's where a lot of my flatmates' content all goes there. All the information will be there. Regarding our travel business as well, that's the place to get me. Facebook, if you can find me, it's David Dacosta. Dacosta. I'm probably in a blue suit like this in my profile picture. But those are my main places, where I'm active on social media. And for people interested in, of course, travel, whether you've got trips planned, Denise, she's the number one person you need to be contacting. If you've got any travel plans, 2024 and beyond, you need to be hollering at Denise, because if you are looking for something to save money on, whether you're a stay-at-home parent, a single mom, and you want to travel with your kids, you want an opportunity to get late checkout, so that you're not trying to pack up all the kids' stuff at 4 in the morning,
right.
Late checkout for 2 p.m, 3 p.m, again, discounts, savings, activities, UK, domestic. If you're just taking your kids to Madame Tussauds, to Legoland Windsor.
We do it all. We do it all.
So, yeah.
Thanks again, David. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Amazing.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Pressure to Passion podcast. If you liked it, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, share, tell all your friends. See you next time.